Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 141 here on season number 2. And today we are getting into what is M1 borrow. So these videos are meant for educational purposes only and not meant to be taken as financial advice. You're responsible for your assets and to properly protect them. So always do your own research. First of all, M1 Finance is an investing app that is changing the game. Basically, through their app, you can invest into any stock or ETF that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange or the NAsdaq. Through their app, you can also fractionally share invest. So instead of buying a complete share, you can buy like half or a quarter or just a little bit of each share if you want. And this is maybe to limit some exposure. For instance, Amazon right now is trading at like $1,700 and maybe your account is only $500, but you would like to expose yourself to Amazon a little bit. Through their app, they also have these things called pies. And within the app, you can make your own pies, or you can use the expert pies, or heck, you can even use a combination of both. But yesterday, they announced a new feature through the app called M1 Borrow. Basically, by using M1 Borrow, you can take a loan of up to 35% of your actual account and then, hey, pay it back on your own schedule. I mean, one of the best things about it is that there's no paperwork that needs to be done, no background credit checks, no denials. I mean, as long as you meet the minimum requirements, of course. And also, you won't have to deal with like a loan officer. A few ideas that you could use this loan for would be like for a down payment on a house, or maybe you have a huge amount of credit card debt with a completely higher interest rate than what M1 Borrow is, and so you use that M1 Borrow loan to pay for that credit card debt. Thus, you're paying a lower interest rate now. Or a third option could be to use that money to take that 35% and add it as leverage to your actual M1 account. The current interest rate on this loan is 3.75%. This interest rate is set monthly and is possibly subject to change. However, at an interest rate of 3.75%, that's pretty much the lowest in the market. You know, on my student loans, I pay anywhere from about 6 to 7%, and then on my credit card, it's anywhere from around 11 to 12% or something around there. But if you're sitting around and you're like, yo, coach, hey coach, are you gonna use M1 Borrow? Personally, I won't be using M1 Borrow, and that's because my account is actually a traditional IRA and it's still waiting to be funded. Apparently the check hasn't arrived yet or something like that, and so the process is still in the works. And then second of all, the account would actually only be around $1,500, which does not meet the minimum requirement or balance I would need in that account. So in order to use M1 Borrow, you will need a $25,000 minimum in your taxed brokerage account. That does not include your custodial account, your traditional IRA, your Roth IRA. It is literally the M1 taxed account. And then also from there, they can impose different restrictions or more restrictions based upon the equities and ETFs that you hold. Say they are more risky or something like that, they could lower the amount that you could borrow. However, if you guys could let me know down in the comments if you plan on using M1 Borrow and what specifically you plan on using it for. I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, and criticism, so feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, we'll go ahead and leave it right there. Let's jump into the question of the day, which is, what's the most interesting building you've ever seen or been in? I don't know if it's actually really like that interesting, but for me it was actually pretty interesting. We stayed at a Hyatt in San Francisco when I was traveling with our lacrosse team during my college days. And like you walk through the door, you know, and then into the lobby, and then once you walk past the lobby, there's like this big, huge, it's like they took the park from the outside and they brought it through the inside. And I was like, this is crazy, like live trees everywhere. It was like you're walking through the Amazon forest, skidding everywhere around there. It was really, really cool. I don't know if that's come standard with a Hyatt, but for me, that was the first time I've ever seen an outdoor park inside a hotel. You know what I mean? Anyways, like I always say, if you got a question on Stash, Acorns, Robinhood, M1 Finance, as well as general investing, business Etsy coaching, post those questions down below. Please don't forget to subscribe right up here and check out my first M1 Finance video. Check out this video right here. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.